Hey everyone, this is Genesis. I'm coming back to you with another video about Dissension. It's been a while. I took a little break from Arma. I was getting tired of it and had a lot of life stuff going on, new job, all that good stuff. So I decided might as well take a break from Arma, come back out with a refreshed mind, and here we are. So I wanted to showcase a couple things that I've done, especially now with 64-bit Arma. It's going a lot more smooth, surprisingly. My frame rate has, at least anyway. And I did do a couple changes. I don't remember exactly where I left off, but I definitely have some things I know you haven't seen before. I'm going to go ahead and showcase to you now. And one thing I want to do really quickly is I have Zeus enabled, but I would like to, let's see, that's 7 days to die. We need to go to Arma, scripts, go to commands. Let's see, I want to make it so all the units get added to my Zeus here. And okay, so I've done quite a bit of things. Looking at the map, you're going to notice quite a few groups running around already. This game's been going for probably around 4 minutes or so. And you're going to notice something called harass 6 here. That's really interesting. Well, this is one part that we're going to kind of do this in segments here. We're going to have talking about the personalities, and then I'm going to go show you some more of the other vehicle purchasing and equipment purchasing and show you how that's a little bit different than before. So if we take a look at this, we can see that we open up the map, we can see that the AI all have orders. Now we have this special harass group that spawned over from this barracks here. This group, you can notice, has a waypoint all the way to Op 4. Of course, Op 4 isn't really moving or doing anything right now, but their goal is to go harass Op 4. Now this is something that's unique to the Guerilla commander. I haven't even looked at it, but I can almost guarantee that's going to be the Guerilla commander if we go to commander info. Yep, he's Guerilla. This commander likes to play as dirty as possible while remaining out of the thick of things. This means laying traps, setting up frequent ambushes, stealing enemy tech, and even creating fake caches laced with explosives. Almost all these are done. The Guerilla commander, I think, especially with first release, has some unique actions. Each commander is going to have some unique actions, not all going to be crazy insane. So let's talk about what the Guerilla commander can do to give you an example. Well, the Guerilla commander has the ability to deploy just squads to go harass enemy forces, even without them having to commit large amounts of them. So he decided right away he wants to send a group to go harass Op 4. So he's just going to send the squad down. They may not make it, but they might capture some extra territory in the way. They're kind of multi-purpose. They might even just help in the assault of this town. You just don't know. And that's okay. They'll receive orders and continue on their way if they can. So that's great. We just had a mission pop in, which I'll show you that here in a moment too. And so you can see here that they're going. Well, that's all fine and dandy. What makes this harass group any different than these groups? Well, see, here's the secret. The Guerilla commander, and I'm going to show you supply points as well. There's a lot to show here today. So the Guerilla commander really can deploy camps around the area outside of his owned zones. What does that mean? Well, he can actually put, not too far, of course, he can put little camps outside of his zones that infantry can spawn at. And so he can have a camp closer to the enemy that is just constantly spawning troops towards the enemy. That isn't a barracks. And it has a little vehicle in the center and a couple buildings around it. And to destroy the camp, you have to destroy the vehicle. Simple as that. And now these harass groups, so in the beginning of the game, it doesn't make as much sense to deploy them. Then they got quite the journey on them there. But he could put a camp, say, up over here on this hill right here, and then just constantly spawn troops here and send them to attack. And there was going to be smaller groups. This is around 6 troops big. There'll just be smaller groups here and there running just to keep harassing to slow the enemy down, and which can really just bog them down. So that's the one aspect that makes the Guerilla commander a little bit more unique, is his ability to do that. So what else can the Guerilla commander do? Well, the Guerilla commander, as you've read, can actually do what I have in now, and this is going to be a new system. I'm not sure about this. This is something that I needed to I kind of need to test, see how it feels. But I'm going to have around the map random crates that are going to spawn, random supply points. And this ties into the supply points system right here, which we'll get into in a minute. I'll explain this in a minute. But it ties into the supply point system. You will have random crates spawn around the map, right, just around players. And the players can run up to them if they capture the crate. I think I actually already have it in. I don't remember now how I have that set up. I don't even know. So, but there'll be random crates spawn around the map. Around the players, they'll stay for a little while, then they'll disappear if no one picks them up. And if a player captures it, he gets a nice reward of money, and it gives his faction resources as well from everything, which is great. So as you're exploring, you may, say you're walking through the woods, you may bump into a random crate. You do an action on it. You'll have two actions. One action will be to either pick it up or check it for explosives. Now, checking it for explosives will force you to play an animation. It takes around maybe 10 seconds, and then you pick it, and then it'll let you know if it's safe or not. This is great. So what the Guerilla Commander can do is they actually will use resources to spawn around enemy players these crates. And if any AI or player attempts to interact with them, then these guys are moving. It's actually not good. If any AI player or if any AI or player interacts with them without checking them first, they will explode and immediately kill them and anyone nearby. So that's another option in the Guerilla. They're kind of like a different form of IED that the players have to be more cautious of. And these guys are not supposed to be moving. That's actually something I totally even forgot about. I'll tell them to move back here. So I'll have to fix that. That's something good to fix. So, and then the Guerilla Commander also has the ability to, what was it? Let me take a look. Now, I'm starting off slow with these because there's just too many otherwise, but here's a bomb, here's the campers. And, oh, that's right, they have the ability to send out a scout. The scout is something that I think I might allow other groups to use it as well, like the defensive commander maybe. But what the scout can do is the scout, it's just one unit. He gets sent out. You can see the commander's creating more units here to go attack this town. Looks like they need help. So the scout will spawn in as a single unit. It'll be marked on the map as scout. And he'll just run towards the enemy, kind of like the harass group is doing. What he does, within a kilometer range of him, he reports any units on the map automatically that blue or whatever side can see. Just in a kilometer range around him, he gets like some kind of radar. It's like a radar essentially. And it doesn't tell you what unit types they are. It doesn't tell you how many. It just goes for every unit. It puts an enemy marker on it, and that's it. And it updates every 3 seconds. So until he dies, of course. So he'll just run towards the enemy, and he'll try to find a spot where he doesn't have to be engaged. He'll just sit there, and he'll just constantly be scouting the area for the players. So you can kind of see. So that allows the Guerilla Commander to get more information and intel on where enemy positions are. The point behind that is to allow the Guerilla players or the commander to assess what would be the best areas to assault and which areas to avoid. You can see we're getting a lot of AI being made here. Wow, look, that's a lot of AI. A new feature as well has been created. You can see these guys just join this group here. Is that when groups get to a lower number, the commander or the groups may decide to consolidate. So you can see these 3 guys join this group. The commander decided that this group needed to be bigger to attack this town for whatever reason, and so they are attempting that. You can see these guys are actually doing a fairly good job so far. So on the fly, dynamically being able to create new groups is something that has been added. So and you'll see this happen a lot. If this group right here gets down to 3 or less, I think it's 3 or less, it will consider being moved into another group nearby to consolidate and to make it a little bit bigger. So we don't have little groups of like 2 and 1 running around a lot, unless they're designed to be that small. So you can see these guys actually just spawn on a boat for whatever reason. Sometimes they do that just to use the damn gun. They're cheaters. They're cheating. There they go. You see the AI are effectively able to use boats to get across. They actually used a boat to get from here to here. But they did it. So you can see that the AI are trying to take this town. This is Viacom AI. So we got this guy taking cover inside. It's also been helping me test Viacom AI, and I'll be focusing on more Viacom AI with this later on. So, good. So there's that. Let's talk about the side missions now. So we talked a little about personalities. You can see how they can impact a game. How these guys are getting surrounded. And you can see the kind of dynamicness that can happen, which is really cool. Let's talk about missions. So there's a mission here. This yellow circle dictates, telling me that there's somewhere a mission is in that area. And I'm cheating because I know exactly where it is already. But if we go to current mission here, you can see a group of civilians with mission-critical intel are being held against their will. We need to locate and rescue these hostages. They will be lightly guarded by a few resistance members. So I'm going to do full cheat here. And make it so I can teleport. But let's go ahead and take a look at... let's go ahead and take a look at what's different now in terms of being able to purchase gear. I'm going to go over here to the barracks. So if I go to the commander interface here, and I'm next to a barracks or close enough to a friendly structure, I can click equipment purchase. This is something that some of you may have seen before. I'm just going to go through it real quick to showcase it. And what this uses is Arsenal, and I bet a lot of you have probably seen Arsenal. It's a great ability, I think a great function to, because it works so great with mods, just to get whatever weapon you want. So Dissension works in a very simple way of, you pick what gear you want, you get charged for it accordingly. It's not perfect because it goes off of an array of, it tries to, I pretty much have a function that tries to guess what the weapon is, what kind of weapon it is, and you know, the more high power it is, the more expensive it is. You can see this M107 is 300 just by itself. Maybe this, well, that's also a pretty good gun, so maybe an HK is only 160. And then you want to get, I don't think I tried, yeah, a sight, certain sights cost more on there. And then we have different attachments cost more, so you can see the cost kind of gets up and say maybe I want to get a backpack that's going to cost more, then I want to throw a whole bunch of ammo in it. You can see the price is just skyrocketing there. So the system just works like that, and this, I like this because it lets you just pick your loadout you want. You can save it. Here I have a loadout here. I'm just going to press close, and now I purchased it. There we go. Now I'm good to go. Okay, and now I need a vehicle. Now I think I did a video before about how I was using vehicles, and well, I finally sat down to make my own little system here, and this is not perfect. I'm going to definitely, I think I'm adding some tabs up here to sort it more, to filter this list down more appropriately. But right now this works, it's functional, it's what you got. And I actually like this a lot more. So we have just a list of vehicles here. This also supports mods. I'm running RHS right now, and all the RHSs. And so you have all these vehicles here you can see. It sorts it automatically by light, by, I think it's just light, medium, and heavy, and then helicopter and plane, and then UAV. And you can see here, these costs seem a little wonky, don't they? Like, what is up with these costs? Yeah, these need to be rounded, I think, just to get rounded off. However, how this cost gets calculated is actually a formula. Some of these is okay. It depends on how many seats are available, the armor of the vehicle, and the payload of the vehicle. See how this H has actually a lot more expensive because it carries much more payload. So there we go. Darter's just pretty cheap, not much, and each different class, of course, has a different base cost. So you can kind of go through this and see certain vehicles are going to be, like the close support one is of the AH-64 is probably more expensive because it has a little bit more weapons on it or something to that effect. The AA-1 has more as well. So you can kind of see how these work. And the Tusks are pretty fucking expensive because, well, they're tanks and they have a lot of weapons on them. And I'm actually surprised this one's cheaper. This one probably has an additional weapon on it and probably better armor. So this one has probably less weapons and less armor, so it costs a little bit less. So that's how that works. And you can kind of go through and whatever you want, you just press this purchase button. You can kind of see a quick preview of what it is and say, I want to be cheap, so I want to get, you know, an off-road without a gun. See how it's different there. You press purchase, it just finds you somewhere safe, and you just go. So what happens if you buy a helicopter? Well, because of the random nature of this game, where the barracks could be in the fucking mountain, surrounded by trees, it doesn't make sense to try to find a spot for a helicopter to be landed. So it spawns you in the air flying already, and if you're in a plane, the same situation, just higher in the air as well. So it works pretty well, and then of course all your vehicles that you spawn into are invulnerable for, I think it's like 10 seconds or so. The player and the vehicle are invulnerable for 10 seconds, just in case you spawn in a weird situation and it might fling you a little bit. It's going to count for most situations. Oh, interesting. So this is also something new. This right here is just the static bay. And the commander decided to build a static bay instead of building a factory. And you can see there's a stack deployment team running right here. There's a lot of new things I'm showing today. The stack deployment team, I'm just going to speed this up. So you can see the commander told him to go here. Well, what happens if I'm just going to speed this up and move him there. So when the stack deployment unit gets close enough to the point he was told to go to, I'm going to cheat a little bit more. And it checks every maybe 30 seconds or so. I don't know how often. There's some setup time. So you can see he disappeared off the map, and then in his place, they deployed an AA launcher here, which fell over promptly. Never perfect, right? Deployed an AA launcher there, and then right on the road, he deployed a static. I don't know what this is, 50 cal. Point in that direction. So you can see that they can actually deploy these weapons. So that's what the static bait is. So the guerrilla commander is deciding, this is kind of the ambushes where expecting for some reason, maybe if anyone chose, he's sitting and putting a lot of time over here on this side, this flank, and he kind of thought maybe this flank's a little weak, I'll just set up an ambush of a vehicle here, and if it didn't fall over, this mini spike launcher anti-air here. And I just probably need to make the spawning code a little bit better for these. Whee! So you can see that's how dynamic the commanders can really be. Now, moving on to the mission. So I got my gear, I'm ready to do this mission, and for the sake of time in this video, I'm not actually going to fight this squad. And every mission's a little bit different. This one doesn't tell you exactly where they are. Some missions are time sensitive, so the circle slowly shrinks around the object until you can get it. These guys, I'm just going to say that they got bored and they went home. So they went home. Now I need to find the hostages in there. And you have like 30 minutes or so to do this. And it is much easier when you have a group of people coming through an area. And I'm just going to cheat, of course, and teleport to these guys and say that I found them. You can see how tough this could be, though. Like, using thermals might actually be very helpful. Where are they? This way? There they are. So here's some hostages. And you just come out to them. I'm going to rescue them. And all I do is just, for the sake of just the game, they just disappear. And when you can see the top left, I rescued the hostages. I got $1,000 just for that. Perfect. Okay, now we're hearing a lot of dinging. So what is that? They're still struggling to take this down here. We're hearing a lot of dinging. So what is that? What's going on? Let's take a look at the command info. Looks like he's attacking some targets. Like he's just reordering some troops to attack. In this menu, one thing I did, the quality of life change, is you can use W to go up and S to go down, which is really nice. You can see he deployed static weapons here. Construction complete. He's doing good. So he's trying to capture the town. They captured this town, which is great. His troops are on the way. Recruitment is failing because there's already too many troops out, so we can't get any more troops. And this number probably is going to be reduced. This is quite a few troops, and I probably will reduce this down to like 30 or so on each side and back, so you can have out at once, besides special units like the harassment units. Because you can get quite a few units. There's a lot going on here already. So let's talk about the supply system now. The supply system is something that I think a lot of people are looking forward to, me and myself included. And I'm looking to see what's going on over here. They made a big group of 11 right here. The guerrilla commander, you can see, has chosen not to use a lot of vehicles, just sticking with infantry. And they're having a hard time assaulting this, probably because these guys up here are being huge royal pains in the ass. But let's talk about the supply system. So let's go take a look over here now. You remember last time we looked at it, there was just this bunker. Well, what are these little fucking things doing here? These little crates here. See that? These are the supply boxes. These are the ones I was talking about that can spawn randomly around the map. And the players can run around, pick them up, and then get resources and cash. Resources for their team and cash for themselves. So it's a win-win. Well, what these supply points do is, every once in a while, the commander will make a supply point. And for each town and every land mass can get a supply point. The commander has to decide to do it. And more defensive commanders are probably more likely to do that. More commanders are focused on resources. They're probably more likely to do that. These guys are just having a blast in the water here. So this commander did decide to get one. Sorry, I love watching these boats land and then poop. So this commander did decide to get one. So what does that mean? Well, if you take a look, over time these slowly generate resources. There's 1, 2, and 3. Now I probably can't do it because I'm actually, I don't think, because I am on this side. Yeah, the enemies on these, every time these are generated, the enemy gets an option on these to steal them. So the enemy can run up and steal these at any time if they can get on top of them, and that gives them the resources and then the cash, and a little bit more so because they stole it. So these need to be defended. Well, these will be defended by just a few AI, of course, to prevent people just simply walking up to them. But once they reach 5 crates, there's can be a total of 5. Once they reach 5, a truck will spawn and come to pick them up from the nearest factory. Now we don't have a factory yet, so I'm very, so these resources are just going to sit here doing nothing for the faction until they get picked up and brought back to a factory. Now they have to be picked up and brought back to a factory. So this is where it gets more interesting. So once a vehicle comes and we don't have a factory, the commander's not building one. That's very interesting. So he'll probably will before the time is ready. But once the vehicle comes, it's just like a normal vehicle. Just a little truck will drive up. They get within a certain distance. They pick up the resources, and these all disappear and then go inside the vehicle. Well, then the vehicle will drive back to, we'll say like we'll just say pretend this barracks is the factory, and it'll drive back to the factory, and then the whole faction will get a huge boost of resources just for that delivery, which is great, on top of what they already get per tick. So stopping them can be hugely detrimental to the enemy team. But the enemies can still loot the vehicle even if after it picks up the resources from the supply point on its way back to the factory, it can still be looted. If it gets blown up, it cannot. So it has to be captured without it being blown up. Then they can get all the supplies from the vehicle. And that's how the Celeste system works. So you can have a whole bunch of supply points, like so, spread around the map, and people, you can see another one just spawning right there. Then they have to just simply go and capture them. You can go assault them or defend them. And this allows players to know certain areas where they, instead of just driving a random vehicle into the town anywhere, they actually have a point to go to. And this also helps if you're attacking or wanting to steal, you know where to go. You know to look for these bunkers and towns and in locations and to see if there is one. And then you can have a focus point of attack. You could be like, you could do some sneaky ass things, or you could be like a sniper or someone just being sneaky. You could sit in this tree line and just wait. You can wait, if you're that patient, you could wait the 15 or so minutes that it takes for that to get full, and going around and being sneaky and wait for it to get full, and then if you time it just right, when it hits 5, you can loot all 5 of them before the vehicle can even get there. And you can really get yourself some nice cash, as well as help your team quite significantly. So I'm pretty happy about that. And then we can also put in other things like an alarm system or something, let them know that they're under attack. I haven't thought that far ahead, but you can see this harass team keeps getting bogged down. You can see they keep having to stop to re-engage. The independent is slowing them down. So that is, I think, I went through a lot of that really quickly. There's a lot going on now, and there's definitely some balancing that needs to happen. I'm thinking about reducing the total number of AI that can be active at once. It's just too many, I think, right now. So turning that number down a little bit, tweaking some more numbers, and then I'm going to keep working on finishing the AI for the personalities. And so that you can see the Guerilla Commander is fully effective. I need to test it. I think it actually got hung up somewhere. So there's a lot of fixing to go on because this group is still just trying to get over there. But it's going along, and I'm getting pretty excited about it. I hope to be finishing up the personality soon and going into testing very soon. Capture the town. Yay! Alright. Town is captured. AI are gone. They did it. So whatever the next target is, let's see. Oh, what is he doing? See, this Guerilla Commander just really loves spawning in units underwater. It'll get moved. Oh, they want to attack that town. No. Wow. He's getting really ambitious now. Let's see what happens here. I'm actually kind of curious what the squad's going to do. There are things like this that happen, and you're like, how the fuck? Literally, how the fuck, you know, you have to account for this shit with random spawning. Like, they're stuck down here. Now they should, with a little bit of time, actually get into the, a boat and fly away, but we'll have to see. You can see it looks like the commander wants to take a couple locations there. So yeah. So let's go ahead and there are things like this. So I have to add in a whole bunch, probably a new check to see if the AI squads don't move in a certain time, a certain distance, then they get moved by. This actually looks like these guys are already going somewhere, and I'm going to help speed them up. I can tell that. Actually, no, I need to see. Sometimes you just have to give AI time, and they'll figure it out by themselves. So they're going. This guy's going. My guess is they're going to be spawning in a boat here any time now. It looks like he wants to attack the Blue Pearl Industrial Park. You can see he's sending a lot of troops because that is a medium. You see how that circle's bigger? That means that that's a medium town. So in comparison, look how big that circle is. Look how big Georgetown's circle is. This town would take forever to take. Oh, and you can see that the AI actually were able to spawn in a boat. And it looks like some of the squad got ran over by said boat. Can't be perfect, I suppose. You can see they both were able to get out by themselves. Huzzah, it's a miracle. So that's one challenge when you're working with AI is you have to manage for, like, even though I've done so much to make sure they don't spawn in stupid locations, sometimes this happens. Technically that was ground, but you know, this little bridge, it's fine, they got it. Now I'm kind of curious to see how this boat decides to attack this town. I'm gonna speed this guy up. Boop, there you go, buddy. Oh God, I've ruined it. I've ruined it for them. Well, they landed there. I ruined it. I messed it up. Let's see what these guys do. So the way this works is once the AI boat comes to a stop, then it decides where to put them. The reason why I did that is sometimes you have AI charge like these rocks here and try to beach here, and then they couldn't path up. Like it looks like he's going to attempt to try to hit this. Maybe he might be smart enough. Looks like he is. See, there's a lot going on the map right now, which is why I think I need to reduce the number of AI. Like this squad got back in the water. They weren't too happy about that assault point. Let's see where they go. It's because I messed them up. They were like, "Stop moving us. We got this." They actually decided to attack 2 different points. This squad looks like they're going for over this area right here. These guys are they going to go back over? Oh, I wonder if they're going to land right here. We'll see. Nope, see like that. Boom. Alright, looks like they want to attack right there. And these guys decided to hit right there. So that's why you see how they jumped out in the water there, they wouldn't do anything. That's why I have them get forcefully put up on the land there. And looks like this squad might be stuck in a loop where they're going to keep getting water because of this little chunk of water right here they're considered. Looks like they can't cross that. We'll see what happens, but there we go. Yeah. Oh, you can see the camp just tried to happen, and we got an error message, so I doubt it even spawned. I'm going to write that down so I know what happened. Line 129. I should end the video here. Oh, I see what happened. I put a sleep in there, and I can't be asleep in a call. But you can see, oh, here's a light factory right here. Oh, cool. And here's another mission, escort mission. Holy fuck, that's a far. Wow, that's a far location escort. So you can see there's a lot to do in Dissension. I'm even getting, like, I'm just having fun kind of watching this unroll and unravel. There's a lot that needs to be fixed and done, but it is definitely getting there. You can see I improved the commander AI with targeting. We have a group going here for harassment. We have 2 groups going here to cap this. We have more groups coming down to help this town. This squad, this 2-man squad is going to take this entire town by themselves. They don't need no help. And this squad right here is just, they're just having fun in water, man. Look at them go. They just want to swim. That's all I want. That's all I want to do. I'm going to have to increase the tolerance for the water. Yeah, that's probably what I'll end up doing. So, I think this video's gone way too long already. I appreciate everyone's time. And I was kind of trying to say, oh, my camp did spawn. Right here. Not a good location because of that error, but you can see a couple of these little buildings spawned around here. And here's the vehicle that they have to destroy. And this acts as like a little barracks. I need to change that to where it actually spawns in towards the enemy. I think it errored out because of that bug. But you get the point, and I'm pretty excited to complete this. It's still moving along. You can see there's 5 containers here now, so at any point a vehicle is going to spawn from this factory. Probably even just right on the road here and just like go. Like, that's the shortest trip ever. But you get the point. So, alright everyone, this is Genesis. I think I went through everything I wanted to go through. It was really quick, but I think it worked out. You can see this squad has a long way to go around to get to that place right over here. AI can move pretty effectively. There's a couple things you can see that need to be a little tweaked here and there, but it's coming along pretty good. So everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.